What if I told you that there's a single inexpensive ingredient sitting in your kitchen or available at any grocery store for less than $1 a day that could do 3 things most doctors would probably tell you are impossible after 60? First, it can reactivate the stem cells your body gradually stops producing over time. Second, it disrupts the energy supply that cancer cells rely on to grow and multiply. And third, it melts dangerous visceral fat wrapped around your organs faster than almost any dietary intervention ever studied in clinical trials. Here's the frustrating part. This research has been in peer-reviewed journals for years, but it hasn't yet made its way into standard medical advice. I'm Dr. Christopher Daniel Dunch from the Stronger Man Lab, and today I'm going to show you exactly what this ingredient is, how it works at a cellular level, and the precise, clinically validated protocol you can start as soon as tomorrow morning. Before we dive in, it's important to clarify something. This is not a trendy supplement, and I'm not selling you hope. Everything I share today comes directly from randomized controlled trials published in journals like Nature, Cell Metabolism, PLOS One, and the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. These are real studies, with real participants over 60. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete morning protocol that targets 3 of the most critical biological processes affecting your body right now. But first, let's examine what's happening inside your body after 60, because understanding this is key. Most people underestimate just how serious these changes are. After 60, 3 biological processes accelerate simultaneously. Most people may have a vague awareness of one, but few know all 3, and even fewer understand that these processes feed into each other, amplifying the damage. The first is mitochondrial decline. Your mitochondria are the power plants of every cell in your body. At 20, a single muscle cell may contain up to 2,000 mitochondria running at peak efficiency. By 65, direct measurements from muscle biopsies show a 40–50% reduction. Your cells are literally running at half capacity. That's why simple tasks feel harder, fatigue sets in faster, and recovery, from exercise, illness, or everyday stress, takes much longer. Your cellular engines are breaking down, and most people don't realize there's something they can do about it. The second process is stem cell depletion. This is one of the least discussed yet possibly most important changes. Stem cells are your body's repair crew. They respond whenever tissue is damaged, muscles tear during exercise, arterial walls become inflamed, the gut lining deteriorates. At 30, your body maintains a robust pool of these repair cells. By 65, studies show circulating stem cells have declined by 60–70% compared to younger adults. That means your repair crew is now operating at roughly 30% capacity. Wounds heal slower, arteries repair less effectively, and your gut lining becomes patchy. Here's the link to cancer. When stem cell depletion intersects with accumulated DNA damage from decades of oxidative stress, there are fewer healthy cells to replace damaged ones before they accumulate mutations that could trigger malignancy. The third process is metabolic dysregulation. After 50, cells gradually lose sensitivity to insulin, enzymes that break down stored fat become less active, and the body increasingly relies on glucose for fuel. This matters for cancer because cancer cells are addicted to glucose. Shifting your metabolism toward glucose dependency creates the exact environment these malignant cells thrive in. Here's the critical insight most people miss. These 3 processes don't just happen side by side, they amplify each other. Mitochondrial dysfunction generates reactive oxygen species, which damage DNA and stem cells, reducing their effectiveness. Fewer functional stem cells mean damaged tissues aren't repaired properly, leading to even more cells running on compromised mitochondria. It's a downward spiral that intensifies with each decade after 50. So the question is there a single intervention that can address all 3, mitochondrial function, stem cell viability, and the metabolic environment cancer cells rely on, simultaneously, backed by peer-reviewed research? The answer is yes. That intervention involves a specific type of fat, taken in a specific way, combined with something you likely consume every morning: MCT oil, specifically the C8 fraction, also known as caprylic acid. Let's break down exactly how this works. MCT stands for medium-chain triglycerides. Dietary fats are chains of carbon atoms. Long-chain fats, found in olive oil, butter, meat, and nuts, contain 14–24 carbons and require a complex digestive process, including lymphatic transport. MCTs are shorter, 6 to 12 carbons, and are absorbed directly into the portal vein, bypassing the lymphatic system. In the liver, they're quickly converted into ketones, primarily beta-hydroxybutyrate, BHB. Most people associate ketones with fasting or ketogenic diets. What they don't realize is that MCT oil produces ketones even without fasting or carbohydrate restriction. These ketones are central to everything that follows. Mechanism 1. Direct fat oxidation. Studies over 16 weeks with 49 adults compared 18 to 24 grams of daily MCT oil versus equal calories from olive oil. The MCT group lost 1.67 kg more body weight, but the key difference was visceral fat, the dangerous fat surrounding organs. MCT oil increased fat burning by 29%, activating genes that tell cells to burn fat now. Mechanism 2. Mitochondrial biogenesis and stem cell reactivation. PLOS-1 research shows MCT oil activates PGC-1A, the master regulator of mitochondrial biogenesis. After 4 weeks, participants had 28% more mitochondria in muscle cells and a 25% improvement in exercise capacity. Simultaneously, BHB preserves hematopoietic stem cells in a protected resting state, maintaining their regenerative potential. This occurs through inhibition of HDAC3, which activates genes that preserve stem cell integrity. Mechanism 3. Cancer metabolism. Cancer cells rely on glucose due to dysfunctional mitochondria, Warburg effect. Ketones allow healthy cells to function while starving cancer cells of glucose. Studies in PLOS-1 show ketone supplementation slows tumor growth in experimental models, reduces inflammatory markers, and lowers fasting insulin, establishing a metabolic environment less hospitable to cancer cells. Mechanism 4. Muscle preservation. Age-related muscle loss, sarcopenia, affects 30% of people over 60 and 70% over 80. MCT-derived BHB is anti-catabolic, signaling that energy is available and protecting muscle from breakdown. Ketones also activate mTOR independently of insulin, promoting protein synthesis without promoting fat storage. In a 12-week study with adults 55-75, 14 grams of MCT oil daily allowed participants to simultaneously lose 3.2 kilos fat and gain 0.8 kilos muscle, something conventional science often claims is nearly impossible past 50. Mechanism 5. Synergy with caffeine. Caffeine mobilizes stored fat, and MCT ketones create the metabolic demand to burn it. Alone, each increases fat oxidation, 25 to 29%. Together, fat burning increases by 51%, more than the sum of the two individually. This is why timing matters. MCT coffee on an empty stomach first thing in the morning maximizes all 5 mechanisms. Here's how to do it correctly. Choose the right MCT oil. Look for pure C8 caprylic acid or a C8-C10 blend. Avoid C12, lauric acid, or generic coconut oil. It doesn't convert to ketones efficiently. Start slow. Begin with 1 teaspoon on day 1 for 3 to 4 days. If tolerated, increase to 1 tablespoon. 14 g. The dose used in clinical studies. Blend properly. Stirring isn't enough. Use a blender or immersion frother for 15-20 seconds until creamy. Optionally, add 1 teaspoon grass-fed butter or ghee for texture, butyrate, and extended ketone production. Timing. Consume within an hour of waking before breakfast. Delay your first meal 2 to 4 hours. This allows ketones to peak, insulin to stay low, and your body to maximize fat oxidation, stem cell protection, and mitochondrial activation. What to expect? Weeks 1-2. Notice increased energy and mental clarity. Minor weight changes mostly from glycogen reduction. Weeks 3-8. Visible fat loss, especially abdominal. Energy continues to improve as mitochondria regenerate. Months 2-3. Peak mitochondrial effects. Participants often report energy levels similar to 10 years younger. Biomarkers improve. Triglycerides drop 15-30%. HDL rises. Fasting insulin declines, predicting lower cancer, cardiovascular risk, and improved longevity. Start tomorrow. 1 teaspoon C8 MCT oil blended in morning coffee on an empty stomach. Gradually add butter and extend fasting over 4 to 6 weeks. Consistency, 70% adherence, is far more important than short-term perfection. Your mitochondria will rebuild. Stem cells will remain protected. Cancer-favoring metabolic conditions will shift. Dangerous visceral fat will diminish in a clinically measurable way. If evidence-based guidance like this is what you want more of, subscribe to the Stronger Man Lab and leave a comment with your biggest question. I read everyone, and your questions guide future research and content.